Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is your host, Rising Oblivion. Today I have some more news that just surfaced recently for Persona 5, the Phantom X, or P5X. So we have some more details here directly from the concept art for this game regarding the characters, but also we have an interview with the creative director over at the Persona series, or P Studio. So a lot of people have been asking, so this Chinese team that developed this game, which is the Perfect World Games, that's the company over in China that made this, however P Studios is in Japan and whatnot. So we know that there is two different studios here, but we didn't really know what was the involvement when it came to P Studios. You know, the people that made Persona 5 Royal, they also made the dancing games. What was their involvement? What all did the people over in China do for this game? A lot of people thought this was going to be a blatant cash grab from the Chinese developers, which we kind of know that it's going to be very microtransaction heavy, but I am here to talk a little bit about the involvement here that we have from P Studios. So there is a lot of involvement from them for this game, but before we jump into that, I want to talk about the upcoming beta, which is going to be happening March 29th. I don't really think I'm going to be covering too much more of this game until that happens and we get some more news, but the 29th we are going to be having more stuff for this game. Obviously a beta test is going to be happening, so we're going to be able to see more gameplay of this game and see a little bit more what it's going to be about. I'm kind of on the fence about this. I don't know how I feel. Obviously the microtransactions and stuff isn't great. I talked about that a lot in my last video, so watch that if you want to up on that, but I'll keep up to date on what happens the 29th and whatever we end up seeing. I'm very curious about how the playstyle is going to be working and how this is going to be continuing when it comes to the nature of mobile games, right? The entire game isn't going to be there immediately. There's going to be microtransactions and things like that to develop. The game's going to have frequent updates as it goes along and keeps playing and telling out this story. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I'm curious how that's going to go. But let's go ahead and jump on over to this interview that I talked about when it came to the creative director over at P Studios. So we knew a little bit about the beta, and we also now have an update when it comes to the studios and how they worked as well. So Kazuhisa Wada is the producer and the creative director behind the Persona team. He worked on things like P5, the Persona series, Royal. He has talked about how the love of the company and the love of Persona, the only reason it has lasted so long for the 25 years is the support and love of the players, which is ironic considering the way that people have felt about this game. But let's just give it the benefit of the doubt and just see how things continue. So Wada's role when it came to the development of Persona 5 the Phantom X is the overall direction and supervising of its core content. So the core content and the main direction of the game, its characters and concepts, was done by the Persona 5 team, or the Persona team, I guess you could say, when it came to Persona 5 the Phantom X. So we know that it is going to have a direct relation when it came to the people that helped make Persona 5 Royal. So we know that those people are going to be helping Perfect World Games over in China develop this game. So what they tried to do is have a lot of communication and patience on every detail, it says, from the supervisional staff over at P Studios. So if you don't know, ATLUS is cut up into a few different studios. Their main studio, Studio Zero, and P Studios. P Studio meaning Persona. Those are the people who work and develop the Persona games. However, sometimes like Strikers and a few of the other games, it's outsourced to third parties and kind of has a development like this game basically, where P Studios overlooks some core aspects of the game, maybe more or less depending on the game, but it looks like with this game, this is what happened. We had some oversight stuff when it came to P Studios on this game. So basically what this means, it's going to have more of a feel like normal Persona 5, and considering from what we've kind of seen, it seems to have that look and that sort of take anyways, but even more so whenever we get gameplay, that is what we're going to be experiencing here. And we even have stuff about the main character design actually being designed by Sojima, and he believes that the protagonist is going to serve as a consistent high quality of the protagonist throughout the Persona series. We don't really know a whole lot here. I'm going to put up some concept art so you can see that of this character as well, but I guess we kind of can judge that whenever we grow, and he says that Wada hopes that players, when they witness the protagonist's growth in the game, that they kind of understand that, and they're going to be seeing that there is supposed to be some kind of growth there. We've seen that with past Persona protagonists. However, most of the Persona protagonists are supposed to be kind of a self-insert in some way, but you tend to see some growth and change throughout the character's, story. Joker, for instance, the things that happens with him earlier on that gets him, sent over to Tokyo and lives a different life completely, and his growth and everything. We do see that. So we're supposed to be expecting something similar to that with this game as well. And it's going to have some oversight when it comes to P Studios, which is good. I think all of this is good stuff so far. Again, I'm not trying to say that this game is going to be the next coming of Christ or something like that, but we do know that it's going to be aided and guided from P Studios having some supervision on that, which is nice. And we have some more details here on P5X's music and having original songs featuring the vocalist Lynn. If you don't know who she is, she's a person who did a lot of the P5 tracks that had vocal tracks. If you don't know, like Beneath the Mask or something like that, that normal, I probably have it playing in the background right now, that sort of chill vibe sort of song in the background. She also does, like Life Will Change and stuff like that. There is going to be some tracks recorded for this game specifically that are going to be original tracks. So anybody out there who has like the full vinyl sets that includes 5 and Royal, you're not going to have all the tracks, technically, of P5. Already, Strikers has a few original ones. Some of the dancing games have some different stuff as well. There's going to be probably another vinyl set that has P5X, or like a smaller vinyl or something like that, that has those on those as well. So we know that there's going to be some original songs done for this game. Again, just even more attention to detail, which I think is good and what we kind of want to happen for this game. We're going to be getting original songs. There's going to be character arcs for a main character. It's designed by some of the people over at the Persona team, not over in China with the Perfect World studio. And we also know that the Persona studio is having a large involvement when it comes to the core aspects, the core key aspects of this game, which is what I was super worried about when it came to this. I really didn't want this to be a half-baked Persona game that is just a cash grab. At least, if this thing is going to be a cash grab, let it be a full-blown Persona game, I guess. I wanted it to keep the amount of quality that the rest of the ATLUS games, ATLUS games has. I didn't want it to be dumbed down. From the looks of it so far, from gameplay, from what we now know of P Studio's involvement, the character designs, the arcs it's going to be going through, and also brand new tracks recorded for this, all of that for a mobile game. It makes it seem like we're genuinely getting a new experience here. Is the execution on how people play it good? That's another story for another time. Actually, check out my last video if you want to hear about that, but that kind of is the problem, isn't it? Where we don't know how it's going to be executed now with a mobile game. They might have something great here, but do people want to have to be paying, $5 every single time they play this to get a new summon or a new party member or fused personas or whatever it's going to be? That's the problem. That's the key problem that we have here when it comes to this game. So either way, I'm still excited to play this. I'm just worried about how the execution and how this is going to be going along. Like I said, March 29th, we're going to be having that beta, so we should be able to see some more details there when it comes to more of the execution for the gameplay. They can't just flat out hide that kind of stuff when it comes to the game. Hopefully they show us as much as they can when it comes to gameplay. Cinematics and stuff is cool and all, but the gameplay, that's what people need to see. We need to know that. How is the gameplay ran? How is that done? Is it on an energy system where you could only use so much energy to play every single day? What is the concept behind how they're making money? How is this going to be, done in a way that it's monetizable for them to make income, right? They have to make money off of this somehow. So we'll be able to see that. From how it looks, both teams are happy. The Persona team and this, I forget the name of them already. Perfect World Games have already both been pretty happy when it comes to this project. So that's good to hear. ATLUS hopefully keeps up when it comes to the quality of the games. like we've seen with Soul Hackers 2, it just didn't match the quality that we had seen of past games. SMT5 has some gameplay stuff in it that's leagues better than what we had seen with Soul Hackers 2, and Soul Hackers was supposed to be a good comeback for, you know, a series, so it kind of sucks. Hopefully it's not dead. I'd love to see more of that, but just done right. In SMT5, obviously having some story bits and a couple of world building things that not a lot of people liked either. So hopefully this game, at least if it's going to be, you know, super microtransaction or whatever, hopefully the people that do enjoy it see it as a good game and we actually have a decent game to play here, even if it's going to be locked behind this stuff. Who knows? This still could be a good game. It's just the way you have to play it kind of sucks, but we'll see. I'm not going to be saying this is going to be an awful game. I'm still sort of waiting here. March 29th, I think we'll know some more details, and then we'll be able to make at least a little bit more of a accurate, you know, feeling, an accurate way that we feel about this game whenever we start to see a little bit more of it, right? So I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. Just going to wrap things up here. Link in the description if you want to go check out Dubby. It has shaker cups, merch, a bunch of different stuff, and if you use my code, you get 10% off your order, so you get some pretty cool stuff there. It's a little bit similar to something like GamerSupps or G Fuel. I'm not associated with them, but Dubby I am. I love the products. I've tried a lot of them. They're pretty good stuff. But thanks for being with this video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe for more content. I'll always see you in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching.